Max here, and I am excited for this. So we've been the kind of unicorn team the last few weeks, and you probably noticed that I haven't been very active online in the last few weeks. I haven't really posted much content. I haven't done really any lives, and people might be wondering, well, why? Why is that? Why hasn't he been posting stuff? Why hasn't he been sharing content and all that good stuff? And I'm just making sure we're all live over here. It's been so long that I actually need to test and make sure that everything's actually working right now because there we go. So let's see. We got this up. Okay, stream monitor showing that we're live. Looks like we're all good. Okay, pulling this up. Incoming streams. It's Facebook Live. Okay, so it looks like we are good. I'm just going to triple check in the actual Facebook group right now and all the places that things are posted. And if we're good, then we'll get started, and this should no longer be an issue going forward. Okay, so it looks like we are good to go. It looks like we are live, multi-streaming with Restream. So that's the good news. It's actually all good news. I said that's additional good news. So in regards to why I haven't been live in the last few weeks, why I haven't really been posting much content, and if you're tuning in the Facebook group or on Facebook page, just drop a comment below. Let me know who's watching. Hit the like button. We all know how much we need that instant gratification, right? So the last month, so we launched our paid traffic training course about a month ago. So yeah, it's actually just a month ago because the rebills came in. So about 30 days ago, launched paid traffic training, and it was a soft launch. It wasn't like this big massive launch. We have a lot of other partners that we're teaming up with to do bigger launches, but we did the launch, and one of the things that we decided to do with the launch was to do a live training boot camp, right? And so what that means is basically we had a 30-day boot camp was the bonus. And so for the month of June, every day, so Monday to Friday, not every single day, Monday to Friday, I've been doing a live training boot camp. So basically, I've been spending usually 90 minutes every day doing a training for my students. And that's on top of Unicorn Academy and on top of everything else we're doing with our business and growing our Unicorn Politics brand, our Unicorn Wealth brand, all that exciting stuff. So needless to say, it's been a lot of I've been putting out a ton of content. It's just been kind of behind a gated wall, if you would say, and because of that, I haven't been sharing as much here. Now that's going to start changing because we've been working kind of behind the scenes, the Unicorn team, to put together a really great new social calendar, a new content calendar for our social channels, for email, for Messenger, for all those channels, and it's really exciting that we're going to start actually implementing this. Now, one of the pieces of that, one of the pieces of the new content calendar is me doing lives Tuesday and Friday. So, and they're going to be themed. They're not just going to be like just random rants. Everything we're start doing now going forward is actually going to have purpose, which I think is important, instead of just kind of putting out content without a clear goal, without a clear structure behind it. So we have like Paulo, and the thing about Restream is if I don't respond to you, it's because I have the Restream streams the stream uniquely to all the different channels, and thus the comments show up not under a unified chat, even though they say that they have a unified chat. It doesn't really work really well, and they're having an error right now where they're saying, "Hey, we're investigating a Facebook issue." So if I don't see your message, it's not that I'm ignoring it. It's just that there's a lot of channels and I can't see all of them, but I do see Paulo and Paul and a few other people that are tuning in. So what does that mean now going forward? Well, basically today's Tuesday, right? So every Tuesday, and Tony, what's up? I'm going to be doing a live session at 6 p.m. Basically, the 10 of the title is kind of what's working in the world. Actually, didn't even I didn't intend to have a curiosity loop there. It was supposed to say what's working in the world of unicorn. It was a unicorn emoji. Restream did not share that, so that will be changed. But basically, it's like what's working in the world of unicorn. So basically, it's what are we doing as a company, as a team, kind of behind the scenes, because I think one of the things that that I've really tried to find balance with, and it's been challenging, is doing versus teaching, right? Having this fine line between we I do a lot of teaching, right? We have the course, we have the training, we have the Unicorn Academy, we have all this stuff, but on the same token, we have multiple brands that we're growing. We have our Unicorn Politics brand, we have our Unicorn Wealth brand, both of which are new brands that are growing really fast. We have our consulting business. We're running traffic for Kevin Harrington, Zig Ziglar, Pat Flynn, like a lot of people that we're running actual traffic for. And so it's this kind of constant give or take, this constant balancing act between how much we're allocating to each one. What I think is really cool, and the reason why I've kind of continued and insisted to not kind of go all in on one, despite the fact that we had a really big discussion yesterday as partners about focusing and consistency and all that stuff, is that I believe that you still need to have the doing if you're going to be talking about anything. I think if you're not actively doing, it's really, really difficult to have a good conversation, right? You can't really go live and teach people things and talk about what's working, all this stuff, if you're not actually doing it on a regular basis. So, and then on the flip side, I think there's a lot of people that are doing really cool things, that run traffic and build marketing campaigns or building businesses, but don't actually ever share any of it. It's behind closed doors. So basically the goal of this is going to be on a regular basis every week, going live, and going to share some of the stuff we're working on. Simple as that. Going to talk about in the last week, since the last stream, or a big project we're working on. What are we doing? What are we seeing results with? What are we really excited about? We'll also be bringing in different brands that I think are really cool. So they're on a regular basis. I'm kind of following brands that I think are killing it online. Mainly brands that I'm buying stuff from, right? So whether it's Quip toothbrushes or Away suitcases or Not Pot CBD, or the list of products that hook me in to buy, I like to then share those brands with you, share their stores, their marketing, their experiences, because I think, and I don't know why this one, I think I updated 2 of them with the new text, but didn't get all of them. So, okay, let's update that real quick. All right, so that one pulled in. Let's see, this one down here pulled in. And I promise today was a little crazy because I was kind of running back and forth. I'd bring my car in to get the brakes replaced on it. Then I had to bring Hokey to the vet. Then I bring my car back, and the car wasn't ready, so I had to see my loaner. So I've been kind of back and forth all day. Was not as prepared as this is going forward. So going forward, we'll be much more structured. It'll be much smoother going forward. So yeah, I appreciate you guys bearing with me on my first kind of stumble back into doing lives on a regular basis. So that's going to be the breakdown. Really, is every week we're going to do this thing. I'm going to share what we're working on. I'm going to talk about brands that I think are really cool, because this was the point I was trying to make. I don't think enough marketers and entrepreneurs are actually like looking at other brands on a regular basis. I think we kind of get in these bubbles where we get hyper focused on our niches, right? And we don't take a look at the big brands that are growing really fast, right? We get focused on other drop shippers, other people in the print on demand world, other people in the ClickFunnels world, whatever the world might be. And, I'm not saying that that's bad, right? It's good to know what the kind of the inner circles doing, your closest people. But at the same time, like, I want to know what the companies that are growing by hundreds of millions of dollars a year, tens of millions of dollars a year, the companies that are valued at $1 billion plus, the companies that didn't exist 5 years ago that are worth $1 billion today. I want to know what those companies are doing. I want to follow those companies. And actually led to an interesting discussion yesterday in the boot camp for paid traffic training, where somebody asked a question about frequency, right? So about ad frequency, and if it's a bad thing, right? Everyone talks about ad frequency being so bad. And what I said is like, well, okay, if ad frequency is bad, and a lot of people get so hyper focused on individual metrics without context and without looking at how they correlate with other metrics, right? So looking at any one metric in an isolated fashion without how it interacts with everything else, or how it's impacting other things, what the trends look like, positive or negative, isn't very valuable. So think about the attention spans of the average US consumer, or the average global consumer, the average internet user. Think about how much we actually retain from what we see on a regular basis. I shared this statistic a few weeks ago or a few months ago about how 24 hours after having a conversation with somebody, that person has forgotten at least 75% of what was discussed. And that's a one-to-one conversation. So think about, the person seeing your brand, the person seeing your ads, the likelihood they're going to retain the message from that ad is so slim that if your frequency is just 1.2 or 1.1, and that means everyone in that audience seen your ad once, seen your brand once, it's not really great. Like if you think about McDonald's, Nike, Under Armour, Google, Apple, Uber, you can go to Target, Walmart. Think about all these brands that are multi-billion-dollar, some trillion-dollar companies, Microsoft and stuff. We see their ads everywhere, right? We see billboards, we see TV ads, we see direct mail, we see emails, Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads every day. Think about when you watch Hulu, when you watch TV now, like you might see the same Clorox commercial 50 times. Now, do you think Clorox doesn't know what they're doing? Do you think Progressive doesn't know what they're doing? Do you think Geico doesn't know what they're doing? Think about how many times you've seen the same Geico Progressive ad, right? You see it a lot. There's what I like to think is we like to, the kind of disruptive millennial marketers sometimes like to think that we're smarter than everybody. Like they're dinosaurs, right? The big Fortune 100s, they don't really know what they're doing. They're not doing a lot of things. And maybe in some extent they don't get some cutting edge stuff. They don't understand maybe direct response, paid traffic as great as some people on Facebook in these Facebook groups and in our industry do. But at the same time, they've come on, Oki. You don't become a Fortune 100 company. You don't grow by billions of dollars a year if you don't know what you're doing, right? At a core level. And so, so that was really interesting to me. It's just this why it's important to look at some of the bigger brands is to get outside your bubble and to look at what companies are actually growing and doing massive numbers. Not companies that are doing 5 million, 10 million a year, right? Which we all brag about here. If you're doing $10 million a year, you're bragging about ClickFunnels and all this stuff. But companies that are doing $100 million a year, $1 billion a year, $5 billion, $10 billion, $100 billion a year, those are the companies we should be looking at, especially in our industry. So that was one thing, and that's really that's gonna be the kind of back half of this weekly session is talking about what we're doing, and then also talking about some brands that I think are cool. And then we can obviously do some Q&A. I can answer some questions. We can have an open conversation about it. And what I'm wondering too is I might be going forward. I may be exclusively doing this live in the marketing strategies group, just because I do believe that I don't have statistically significant data on this, but I do believe that Facebook definitely throttles delivery and in the reach of a live if you're doing it through Restream than if you're doing it right inside directly to a group and then sharing it. Because anytime I do a live directly on the group or directly on a page and then share it, gets way more viewers. Whenever I use this tool, and again, I haven't done enough times to really know, but I'm starting to see a trend that there's just a very, very small turn up rate for that. So so going forward, if you do want to watch these weekly lives, I would suggest you join our marketing strategies for business leaders Facebook group. It's a closed group, but it's free. You can come join it and be part of that. So that's what we're gonna do every Tuesday. Then every Friday, what are we doing Friday? Actually, I'm totally drawing a blank on what we're doing Friday. Oh, so Friday, I'm gonna start doing a kind of this week on Facebook, basically more of a higher level kind of commentary live, where we look at the news, we look at what's happening on a more of macro level, right? These lives on Tuesdays are going to be more micro, more about tactics, more about strategies on the advertising side. Friday is going to be more of a let's talk about artificial intelligence, let's talk about machine learning, let's talk about the impact that Huawei getting banned from the US is going to have on our economy, bigger, more macro level stuff, which I find very interesting. And I think impacts, if we're entrepreneurs and business leaders in this group and on Facebook and kind of follow me, we need to focus beyond just Facebook ads, right? You can't build a very large business that runs independent of you if all you're doing is running Facebook ads. It's that simple. And that's really why I've also structured my boot camps on a regular basis to be more about marketing principles, marketing strategies, and less about this is the latest Facebook ad hack. Because I think it's becoming more and more clear to me that you need to be diversified more so than ever. You need to be on other traffic channels more so than ever. You need to have other strategies to get people into ecosystems, to nurture people, to engage people more so than ever. And that the days of being able to just run some Facebook ads and scale it aggressively and build a massive, build a, $5-10 million a year business plus are getting harder and harder to do, independent of other things. So what is our big focus right now? So what we're really focused on in terms of the unicorn side is, like I said, we have a few focuses, but our big one right now, we have our training business, which is really exciting. We're about to roll out a bunch of stuff. We're about to really start pouring fuel on the fire in terms of growing the paid traffic training course, which, by the way, if you guys haven't joined paid traffic training, I highly recommend you get in. We did a soft launch. We got a ton of students in. They've gone through the boot camp. The results have been amazing out of the gate. Everyone is just blown away because the boot camp's so overwhelming, the training's been so overwhelming, the content's been so overwhelming, and we're still adding more and more stuff. So if you come in now, you're also going to get basically 20 plus additional videos because all the boot camps have been recorded, and the boot camps I've structured them to walk people through from the very, very beginning of what you do before you launch an ad to how you scale. And now we're talking about customer lifetime value, post-purchase retargeting, all that good stuff. So if you haven't joined paid traffic training, highly recommend you get in. And we're really now we've turned the paid traffic tip vault into a lead magnet. We're about to start really running traffic to that. We haven't really run any traffic other than our initial launch. So super excited about that. That's one part of business. The other big part is our unicorn brands, right? So what we're doing now is we launch Unicorn Wealth, so unicornwealth.com, and then we launch Unicorn Politics. So we have two brands now that we've launched in conjunction with our partner, Morgan, who runs a company called FinMC, a big financial company, financial information and publication company. And so unicornwealth.com is up and running. Unicorn Politics, we're about to launch the content site, and then we're launching a store, basically gearing up for the election to get ready to profit all that and monetize everything like we did with the Trump coin back in the day, but do it much, much bigger on a much bigger scale with more people than just Trump. And so what we've been doing to launch these brands is focused on audience development, audience segmentation, and nurturing and engagement, right? Which I think is one of the areas that is, without a doubt, definitely missing from from most people's marketing strategies right now. Most people I talk to, right? I'm not going to make a uniform blanket statement that everyone, but a lot of people I talk to seem to be focused on the acquisition, right? That taking somebody and sending them to a sales page and getting them to buy. And that's really what a lot of people are focused on. And I don't blame people because frankly, it's the most enticing. Nobody really wants to, I got to advertise and spend money, but I don't make money from this person on the first click or the second click. I don't make money right away. I don't want to do that. Why would I want to do that when I can just take this person and send them here and I get money from them? So it's a very, very hard habit to break for marketers, right? We all develop habits. The more we do things, the harder it is for us to change. The more we believe something, the harder it is for us to change that belief. And it's interesting. Like even if you take a room of people that believe in one of the books that I was listening to today in Blinkist, they were talking about. I forget. I'm going to pull up the name so I can actually give you guys the actual book so you can go listen to it if you want. Let me pull it up real quick. I've listened to like 8 in the last day. Okay, so it's The Influential Mind. So The Influential Mind by Tali Shalhoub. That was so I was listening to that, and they were talking about in the book how they took a room of people that believed that vaccines cause autism, and they started attacking. They brought in scientists and they told people in the room, well, it doesn't do this. Here's all the data. Here's all the stats. And they asked people after how they felt after. The people actually felt more strongly. They believed in their views more after that than they did before that. The same thing happened with I forget the other book where there was a study that was done where this guy and another researcher went to a TM, Transcendental Meditation, like seminar where these people were trying to get people to sign up for this TM course, right? And the instructors that were up there that were selling basically were saying that, hey, if you master TM level 8, you can fly, you can cure cancer, all these things, ridiculous claims. And his friend, who was a neuroscientist and like a PhD, got up and said, basically did it in Q&A, called them out, answered his questions, and just grilled these guys with questions. And they couldn't answer a single question. And so you'd think after that, everyone in the room that was there would not sign up, right? You just heard the people saying that you could fly, you can do all these things, just got taken apart and weren't able to support their claims. Almost 75% of the room signed up because people wanted to believe. They already had the beliefs. And when you attack somebody's beliefs, you just reaffirm it, right? So it's been challenging with the transition away from cold traffic to an offer page. A lot of marketers, that's the way they've been doing it for so long, and it's worked for them for so long, that they're going to continue to do that and continue moving down that path until they just lose, until they lose all their money, right? Because it's worked from the past. That's what they've done. They built a habit. In their mind, they think it's the right way, regardless of what you say to them, regardless of the data, regardless of the statistics, regardless of the platform changes, regardless of any of that. But for us, we've definitely started moving in the direction because I believe the writing is on the wall that the future brands that are going to be successful, the future marketers that are going to be successful are the ones that have first party data, right? So as Facebook and as the big ad platforms out there continue to crack down on third party data, continue to crack down on tracking, as the government continues to gets more involved regarding privacy, regarding data privacy, data security, all these things, it is going to make it harder for advertisers to get that data without owning the audience, right? So the Wall Street Journal, they had a really good story 2 weekends ago, so not this weekend, the weekend before that, where they interviewed, it was like 10 or 12 marketing executives. So the CMO at McDonald's, a lot of big marketing execs, some of the big agencies, when they asked them about data privacy, how's that going to impact you and other marketers in the future? And one of the consistent themes was in first party audience development, right? The focus should be on building your own audience, your own database, your own email, SMS, push notification, messenger list that you own, that you can mine the data on because they voluntarily opted in. You can learn more about them. You can build avatars off of them. You can monetize them. You could build lookalikes and further data sets off of them. And the time to do that is now, right? Because if you wait until everyone realizes that, what happens? Ad costs go through the roof because everyone wants to do that. So now, I mean, it's even now, it's getting later, but like now is the time to start implementing strategies, top of funnel, to get people into your ecosystem, get them off of Facebook, off of Twitter, off of Google, off of Pinterest, and into your ecosystem, into your environment where you can nurture them, you can engage them. Because the truth is that the example today in one of the books I was reading was like if you kind of envision the process of selling as a fire, right? So you're putting a fire together, and you're putting the initial is like kind of the kindle, right? So you're putting the initial material in there to start the fire, right? I think it was either the Brainfluence or the Attention Merchants. I think it was Brainfluence was the book where it talked about this. That kindling burns out right away. You need to then put the bigger pieces of wood in. So you need the kindling in there to start the fire, but the bigger pieces of wood need to go in there to keep the fire going and roaring for longer. So you have this two-part system where you need to capture attention and bring people in, get that initial transaction, but you also need to continue to build on that attention, right? So that initial interaction, initial engagement does not build a long-term customer, doesn't build a high-value customer, doesn't even really get you a customer. It gets you in the door, right? But you still need to put in a lot of work after that, and you can't just expect that because I send them here, they're going to buy, right? It doesn't work that way. If it did work that way, everyone would be super rich. So what are we doing? And feel free, I want these to be interactive. So if you're watching and you have questions, if you're watching the replay and have questions, just tag me in the comments, let me know. I'll do my best to respond. It's challenging because it's across 3 lives. Like I said, going forward, it'll be one uniform live so I can keep track of the convo and everything going forward. So we're driving our cold traffic to interactive content. We're driving them to polls, quizzes, calculators, gamification. So we're creating an experience, right? So we have kind of a multi-layered agenda with this strategy and why I think it's so powerful and why I think more and more marketers should be deploying this for their business, right? The first is the understanding that you need to stand out in the feed, right? Every day we are competing with just a monsoon of attention grabbing other, brands, businesses, people, everyone's attention, right? The average consumer today consumes and receives, I think it's 147 newspapers worth of content, right? Between all your social channels, all your emails, you're going through about 147 emails worth of content. That's how much you're consuming on a daily basis, right? That's massive. So think about that. You're going through 147 newspapers every day. Do you think like a little blurb down here with a product saying link, buy my product is going to stand out, get them excited, get them to pay attention? No, you're not going to pay attention to that, right? So what we need to understand as marketers is who we're going after, right? Who is our target demo? Who's our target customer? Who's our avatar? Who do we want to sell our product to? Who is that person? If you know who that person is, or you have an understanding of maybe there's multiple avatars, the next question is, what do they want to see? What do they actively engage with? Why are they on Facebook? Why are they on YouTube? Why are they on Twitter? Why are they on these channels? Why are they there, right? The answer is never to watch ads. It's not, right? The answer is never, even if it's going to YouTube to watch an ad, it's because that ad entertained them, right? It was a funny ad that they heard about, they want to go watch. They're watching it not to go buy the product, they're watching it to be entertained, right? So most people are going on to Facebook and these platforms to consume content, to be entertained, to be engaged, to disconnect, to distract themselves, whatever it is. But it's 100% not to buy your product, okay? So that's the first thing to understand. Now we know, okay, well, they're on here to consume content. They're on here to be entertained. They're on here to be engaged. So what type of content are my target customers interacting with, right? What brands do they like? What people do they like? What businesses do they like from a corporate, big brand level? What news channels do they like? What media companies do they like, right? And then go to those pages. What content are those pages sharing, right? What pieces of content are they sharing consistently? And what pieces of content are actually getting engaged with the most frequently, right? You can now reverse engineer that. If I know who my customer is, and I know what my customer likes to interact with on Facebook and on social media, I can now create my top of funnel ad to best replicate and mimic that format of content. So our goal with top of funnel, that's one of the things we're doing. So the goal is to engage, entertain. We need to get attention. Before we can sell to them, we need them to be paying attention to us, right? You can't sell to somebody that doesn't pay attention, doesn't know you're there. So entertainment, engagement, grabbing attention off of the feed, getting them to focus their attention for at least a few seconds on what I posted there, right? Okay, so I've accomplished that. I'm not accomplishing that with a direct sales ad. I'm accomplishing that with something that resonates with that person, right? So for Unicorn Politics, for example, who do I want in my ecosystem? Let's just use that brand for an example. Okay, so Unicorn Politics, we are eventually going to be rolling out a store. That store is going to have collectibles, going to have products for people that are passionate about, Trump, people that are passionate about different Democratic candidates. But the key there is people that are passionate about candidates and issues. Okay, so we're going to have products. What else are we going to have? Well, we're going to have advertising partners that have newsletters, that have premium content, different sources other than just physical products, right? And so they're going to be in there. Well, who are they going to be resonating with? People that are passionate about issues and candidates, right? You're not going to get people that are just middle of the road, that don't really care, okay? We don't want somebody in our ecosystem that's, I don't really care who's president. It doesn't really bother me. I don't care that Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren want to wipe out college student loan debt. I don't care that Trump just banned Huawei from selling products in the U.S. or doing business with U.S. businesses, and then it might tank the economy 30% if the blackmail happens back on Apple. I don't care about those things. I don't want that person in our ecosystem. So who I do want is the exact opposite. I want the people who are passionate Okay, so what do passionate people do? People that are passionate about candidates and issues. They vote. They share their opinion, right? That's a given. If I'm passionate about Joe Biden, if I'm passionate about Donald Trump, if I'm passionate about illegal immigration, or I'm passionate about capitalism or socialism, whatever it might be, I'm going to share my voice about it, right? I'm going to be active. I'm going to talk about it on Facebook. I'm going to share articles that support my viewpoint. I'm going to, when I have the opinion to support my viewpoint, I'm going to engage with it. So, okay, we know that's what they want. So let's create polls that ask people to share their opinion about these issues. That way, the people that are passionate are going to pay attention to it. They're going to engage with it. They're going to click through to it. They're going to opt into it, and they're going to share their opinion. Okay, so our top poll right now, and I will I'm going to pull up one of our ad accounts. So let's see, interactive content. Pull this ad account up. Okay, so let me share my screen. Wrong screen. Okay, let's share this screen. There we go. So everyone should see my screen right now. So let's look last 30 days. Okay, so this is a relatively new ad account. We just started this 30 days ago. So our number one poll is our 2020 election poll. And so you can see here, we've driven almost 21,000 leads through this poll at an average cost of about 26 cents. So let's look at some of the big metrics here. It has an 11.4% click-through rate on the link. It has a 21.4% click-through rate on the ad, which means that over 1 out of 5 people who see this ad in their feed are clicking it. Think about that. 1 out of 5 people, actually almost 1 out of 4 people. Some of these ads are over 1 out of 4, it's 1 out of 3 on some of the audiences and ads, who see this ad in their feed are clicking it at some level. They're clicking the image, they're clicking the engagement, they're clicking somewhere on it, right? We're getting 70-cent cost per clicks. So let's go in and look at what these ads look like. So we're evenly splitting it because we don't want to distort. Like, the point of this brand is we want to make Unicorn Politics a kind of objective platform. So instead of us being like one of the news companies that has an agenda and a bias and forces it down on people, which is impossible. Not everyone has biases. Everyone's subjective, right? Everybody. Nobody's unbiased. It's bullshit. Everyone has a view on something, right? Nobody. If we didn't, we wouldn't be human beings. We would just be like ants or something that didn't feel about things, right? So, but we want to make sure that in our responses and the way people react to the ads, that it's balanced. So, and we also want to test things, right? So we split the audiences evenly. So we have 3 left sources, 3 right sources, and 2 that are based on all people broad and people that are interested in polls and surveys. So we're getting kind of an even spend across MSNBC, left and on the right. So that's how we're setting it up. We're keeping this very, very broad because remember, part of the value of this strategy is that we're using a top of funnel and we're using the content itself instead of necessarily targeting, going very, very micro, to have the people who most likely are going to be our ideal customer tell us they're our ideal customer, right? I know it's a crazy way to think about it. I know this is not the way people are typically taught to run ads and buy media. They're taught to do lots of audience research and create super granular audiences that are hyper targeted, right? And then you got them. I disagree. I think for most businesses going forward, the value, it's going to be way more cost effective and profitable in the long run to, instead of doing that and trying to guess, especially because most people are guessing, right? They don't actually have the data to support their decisions. Running top of funnel interactive content, polls, quizzes, gamification, calculators, things like that, running it to very big audiences, and then letting the people who are your best customers tell you they are by their engagement in the content itself, right? And that's what's happening here. The people who are most passionate about the election are telling us the most passionate about the election and candidates because they're engaging with it, right? It just makes sense. So we're running, a handful of ads here. We're about to roll out a bunch of other tests. We're splitting it across email and messenger. We literally just started yesterday. So yesterday we started splitting some of the traffic to messenger because email, we're getting 10% open rates, for ice cold brand new leads, which isn't terrible. But with messenger, we're getting, significantly higher open rates and click-through rates and everything. So this is actually just a sequence that we just started. I'll walk you through the flow. I can walk you through that actually right now. So election 2020 poll, we actually just built it on Messenger. And we're still getting emails from this too. So I'll show you that in a second, actually. Let's go back here. So again, we're keeping the ad very, let me pull up the one that's got the most engagement just because it's crazy. Okay, this one. Let's load this up. Okay. So we're keeping this, let me close this down. Super open. We're focusing on you as the voter. We want you to share your opinion. Who has your vote in 2020? Take this quick poll. Election 2020, Trump versus fill in the blank. Would you vote? Who would you vote for if the election was today? Vote now. Your opinion matters. We're showing the actual candidates because people are passionate about what's happening right now. People either hate this man or they love this man. People either hate her or they love her. People either hate him or they love him. Every character on here is polarizing, right? Now, obviously some less than others. The president is clearly more polarizing than others. But when you see this in your feed and you're passionate about a candidate or our election, you are going to pay attention to this. There is no way that you are not our ideal customer or ideal avatar in our ecosystem and you scroll through this and you don't stop, right? And so what ends up happening, because of how passionate people are about this and because this is not selling crap, we're not hawking a product here. We're not hawking buy these, Trump posters or whatever. Like, or, I guess the Trump poster people would share, but like buy these squishy balls, right? We're not selling, hey, buy these pens, right? Nobody is going to share that with their friends. They're just not, right? You might get a handful of people who just hate their friends or something like that. But think about what you share on Facebook, right? What do you share on Facebook? What do you share? That's a question. I'd love to get answers from that. I would guess that most of you, when you decide whether you're going to share something, the first thing that you think of is, do my friends and following, are they going to find this valuable? Or are they going to think this is spammy or salesy or something like that, right? That's a genuine question that I know I ask myself and most people ask themselves. So if you want to get organic reach, and you want elements of virality, which is important today with ad costs going up, you need to have massive organic reach on your ads to make it work financially. You need to make sure your ad is share worthy and that people that are your target customer are going to feel comfortable sharing because it is in the same vein and field of content that they actively do share. So anybody that is passionate about politics, again, our target customer, actively is sharing content either about Trump, positively or negatively. They're sharing news stories, they're sharing video clips, they're sharing that kind of stuff, right? So this fits in that grouping, right? So we've made the ad share worthy. We've made it not feel like an ad or salesy because it's not selling anything, right? It's a poll. It's something that people actively are using on social media, right? BuzzFeed has made a massive company off of quizzes and polls. And because of that, this ad has over 1,000 shares and 12,000 comments, right? This one ad. Now there's a bunch of ads running across all the spend, but it has 12,000 comments on it. Look at this. The top comment on here has 1,600 likes. Think about that. Think about what that would mean for your business if your ads you're running, just the comment on it was getting over 1,000 likes. And that one comment has generated 594 replies. These are the things that make the economics work in your favor, right? Because each time somebody comments here, when somebody then comments on this thread, that person's going to get notified. And because of how passionate people are here, they're going to come back because they're going to defend them, because it's guaranteed, because of the structure of this, that for every 5 people that say they love Trump and how great Republicans are, there's going to be at least 5 people that say how terrible he is and how great Democrats are. And so those 5 people are going to come back and tell them they're wrong. And the other 5 are going to come back and tell them they're wrong. And remember earlier how I talked about the fact that people do not change their opinions, right? People build their mind map over a long period of time, right? People listen to the news they want. They talk to the people they want. They control the intake of information to fit their bias, right? And so like it's almost virtually impossible that you can have something that's polarizing that is not going to drive this level of back and forth, right? It's called like cognitive dissonance as well, right? So if somebody comes on here and says, well, Trump's terrible because it is, you can separate yourself from that fact and still believe in what you believe, right? There's psychological terms behind this. So these all these people come back and they share and they comment and they engage. Each one of these people, right? And this is driving massive free traffic to our poll, right? And so when you click in here, we then have our poll, super easy to fill out, right? This one has, I believe it's a, last time I checked, let me see where we're at. I believe it's at a 64, 63% conversion rate. So about 63% of the people that visit that page are opting in and they're completing the poll. Let's see. Okay, the election 2020 poll. It's still crunching the numbers. There's a lot of traffic coming in. This is weird. I don't know why it's showing that. Okay, so we're at a 58.3% conversion rate coming down to user funnels. So we look at this is this week, so it breaks it down by week. So this week so far we're at a 70% conversion rate. Let's look at last week, or June 21st to 24th. So 64%. So we're getting, a lot of people in here sharing their opinion. We're building out a robust profile on our users. And so that's the second value. Let me go back to share my screen real quick. So the other reason why we love this strategy, one is it's getting the ideal person who's the perfect fit for our ecosystem to tell us they're the perfect fit by the fact of interacting with that and sharing their opinions. That's one. Two, we're learning so much more about this individual, right? If you just start if your marketing your entire marketing strategy is about cold traffic, you're just making guesses and kind of throwing darts in the dark to hope you hit the right segment to an offer page. Why would you do that when you can simply have those people tell you exactly what you want to know, right? Imagine being able to say, like, okay, if I knew these 8 things about my target audience, I would be able to quintuple my conversion rate, my click-through rate. I would be able to cut my cost per click by 75%. Would you do it? And the answer I hope everyone's saying is yes. Now that's exactly what you can do here, right? You can start broad, you can drive them to a poll or a quiz, whatever you want to call it, an outcome quiz, and you can ask the questions in a way that's still fun and engaging to learn the things you need to learn to be able to deliver a more personalized follow-up and retargeting experience to them to maximize conversion rates. Because you now know that, let's use this for Unicorn Wealth example, or our boom or bust poll. I'll show you the examples in here of the questions that we're asking. So let's go to analyze. Let's go down to user funnels. Okay. So here's the questions that we're asking. So by the time somebody finishes this poll, we now know whether they think we're going to enter a recession this year or a bull market. Now, just that alone, if you're marketing like we are, financial info products, trading services, any type of financial content, financial offers, do you think being able to segment your landing pages and your copy to focus on, hey, this helps recession-proof your trading strategy versus this will help you continue to make as much money on the bull market as possible, do you think that would increase your conversion rates instead of having to be cookie cutter generic, like make more money with your trades? Yeah, without a doubt, right? So that's just one piece of data, knowing that this person's bearish versus bullish, total different approaches to how we would market to them. Then we find out, okay, well, if you're bullish, you go to this question, well, what market are you most optimistic about? Now we know, okay, these 214 people are bullish on cannabis, right? So they're bullish and they're bullish on cannabis. Well, what do you think we're going to do? We're going to email them our cannabis offer. We're going to retarget them. We're going to push them down that path. And if somebody's bullish on gold and silver, we're going to push them on that path. We're not going to hit the gold and silver people with the cannabis offer. At least not to start, right? Because they didn't tell us they're most bullish on that. We're going to start with the thing they're most optimistic about. It would be just like knowing, hey, if we ask a question, the first question was, hey, do you deal with, do you think you're more stressed than usual? Or something like that, right? Because you're selling stress relief balls. Knowing that these 70% of people said yes, I can weed out the other 21%. I'm going to market to them. And then I find out, which technique are you most interested in learning about? Or do you think works the best? Prescription drugs, therapy, whatever it might be, stress relief balls. Like just knowing those little things can dramatically increase my ability to personalize the follow-up experience and increase the conversion rates. Then we're asking, how much do you plan to invest in 2019? Again, the 50 people down here who say over 100 grand, do you think we're going to sell them our $7 little, get started with trading package? No. We're going to maybe sell them a trading club, a mastermind, some high ticket stuff. If they're already investing 6 figures a year, they're probably pretty savvy. They don't need some entry level thing. We're going to insult them if we do that. Whereas the people up here, these 498 people, do you think we're going to try to sell them some high level investment trading club if they're investing less than 5 grand? Probably not. Our goal with these people is going to be getting them to understand that, hey, if you're bullish, like you need to ride this bull market before it's a bear market. You need to start investing more this year. That's how you amplify wealth. That's why the rich keep getting richer, because they invest, right? There's a totally different angle for those people. Then we actually find out, well, who's responsible for the bull market? So we're learning the political affiliations. Because now if we know, hey, they're bullish on gold and silver, they're going to invest 100 grand plus, and they think Trump's responsible. Now we can work Trump into our marketing. We can talk about how the president's helping, the greatest economy in history, and the bull market's going to continue with President Trump's reelection. We can really push that button. On the flip side, if they're, believe the Democrats are responsible, we can say, hey, the market's done great because of the Democrats, and now once we get a Democrat in office, it's going to be, 10 times better. Get ready for, grab our, the Democrat 2020 wealth plan or something, whatever it might be, right? So knowing all of these little things, every question they answer does two things. One, it helps us personalize the follow-up. It helps us make that experience better. I just realized I'm not sharing my screen with you guys. I can share it back, right? So you can see that. So one, it's helping me improve that follow-up experience, maximize conversion rates. Two, each question they answer is an interaction with our brand. Right? Each thing, whether it's just because it's not money doesn't mean it's not a transaction. Each one of these question and answers is a transaction. It's a transactional relationship. The more transactions we do with somebody, with a brand, with a company, with a person, the more we have trust with them. It builds a relationship. Now, I'm not saying this makes them trust us overnight, but I am saying that somebody who does a 10-question quiz or poll with you versus somebody who just grabs a free lead magnet ebook is in a different state going into your follow-up sequence, right? It might not sound dramatic. It might not even be dramatic, but they are better positioned to buy your product and trust you because you've had an experience with that, right? This is an experience versus just, hey, give me your email, I'll give you an ebook, right? That's not very intimate. It's not very personal. It's not really an experience, right? So that's really that's one of our big focuses right now with our Facebook strategy, with our Unicorn Politics brand and our Unicorn Wealth brand, is leveraging these forms of interactive content to foster that relationship, to build a deeper relationship, to engage, entertain, provide the content and experiences that users of these platforms actually want. They don't want to be advertised to. They want experiences. Use those experiences to then get them into our autoresponders, into our messenger sequences, into our text sequences. So we can then use those channels to do more selling while we continue to build a relationship on these channels, right? I think that's really the 2019, 2020, the direction people are going to start going in. They're going to realize that's the way I should be marketing. It's about relationship building. It's about relationship development. It's about providing valuable, entertaining, educational experiences. It's not just about quick gimmicks, quick hacks. And I think the days of being able to make that work are really numbered, right? So I see there's a question here from Coke's Biggest Marketing. I'll answer that in a second. But yeah, so every week, just to recap here, we're going to do this a lot better next week, I promise. Every week, every Tuesday, 6 p.m. in the marketing strategies group. I'm gonna do it just through there next week, not anywhere else. So you got to join the group if you're outside of it. I'm gonna be doing these sessions, and every week we're gonna be breaking down something we're working on in the last week for our brands. We're actually spending our own money on real strategies, real ads, real new tools we're using. You're gonna get to see them first. Literally, even if it's stuff we're just brand new, I still want to share with you guys first. Plus, we're going to look at some really cool brands that I follow that I'm inspired by. So that's what we're going to do every Tuesday. So what's working in the world of unicorn? It's a regular show. So tune in next Tuesday for that, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, this Friday, we still have to decide the time, but this Friday I will be doing the first of a weekly live show where I'll basically be kind of the doing more of a analysis and discussion around the kind of more macro, right? These sessions are more micro. The Friday session will be more macro about the economy, about Facebook as a company, as a platform, about artificial intelligence, machine learning, about AR, VR, experiential advertising, future ad platforms, big news stories, stuff like that. So that'll be the Friday live that we'll do. And then in between those dates, you're going to start seeing a lot more content from me, a lot more content from the Unicorn team. And we're really, really excited about that. So I know it's been about 30 days without much talking, without much content. I kind of went dead off the radar. But I promise we were hard at work behind the scenes, doing a lot of stuff to provide really, really great experiences for everyone in Unicorn Nation. Also, if you have not got paid traffic training, I highly, highly recommend that you go to paidtraffictraining.com. Grab it today. You get both courses, IQ Academy Paid Traffic Training. You get the full bootcamp recording. So every one of these bootcamp sessions I've done, the recordings are in there. We've added more videos since we even launched the course, and the results from our existing students who just got into the program have been overwhelming. It's been like 10 times the response that I got with my first course, and the first course did really, really well. So super excited to get more students in there, and we're about to do the big marketing push starting probably next week. We're launching paid traffic. Everything we've done to date was really a soft launch. We did a little webinar to our existing audience. I did it with Adrian Morrison, but we didn't do a huge push. But we crushed our numbers. We were really excited about it. So now we're going to start really putting fuel on the fire. That means this group's going to grow. Our ecosystem is going to grow. We're getting a lot more students in. I'm really, really excited about it. And we're doing some really big JV webinars this summer with some big people. We're doing a webinar with Kevin Harrington and Zig Ziglar family in August. So that's going to be huge, and some other big JV partners. If you're a big affiliate, if you have a big audience and you want to do a JV webinar, feel free to reach out to us, comment below that you're interested, and Brian and Christopher from our team will reach out to you to schedule something. Each webinar I've done so far has done 5 figures plus on the webinar, and we just started it. So it was literally like we did the webinar the first time a month ago. So there's still a lot of improvements that are going on, a lot of tinkering that's going on. So it's just going to keep getting better and better and better. So we're really, really excited about that. Okay. So the question was, so these are automated triggers as well. So I'm guessing, Cokes, you were talking about the poll itself, and trying to figure out the timing of that. For if you want to clarify your question, feel free to do that. But I'll just assume what you were saying, which is the Outgrow, which is cool about it, is you can set up logic. So if I go, let me go to build, let me share my screen. So you have these logic jumps here where, hey, if the person goes to the first question, bull market, bear market, I want to send them different questions. So if they say bull market, they go to question 2. But if they say bear market, they go to question 7. And question 7 asks them which market will be hit the hardest in the recession, right? So I'm able to create this kind of personalized decision tree that can flow people down different outcomes. This is all then sent to Drip, our email marketing system, where they are tagged, put into custom fields. So all of the integrations are deeply in Drip. So we then can segment them in Drip, put them under different automation workflows. We know that all the things they selected. It has great integrations with Facebook. So on the tracking side, you can actually, we didn't do it for this one. I can show you, let me go for, because we have it set up a different way. This was the first poll we created. We learned a lot from completing that. Let me go to this one. configure. So we have you can have configure custom events. So I can actually like trigger different events for each question, and then I can create custom audiences in Facebook to auto-populate. So I can dynamically create audiences of people that are Republicans, Democrats inside Facebook to retarget. So I can actually directly integrate what's happening here with my Facebook custom audiences. You can do the same thing with Google Analytics if you want to set up custom events there. So it's super powerful. And there's a lot of automation built in there, and we're consistently learning new things on how to maximize the platform to get the most results out of it. So we're really, really excited about it. And like I said, we're now testing sending to Messenger, and then inside Messenger, we're then backing out to email. So let me show you this real quick. So inside here, we're basically using a custom landing page where they can opt in. And then if they're a Republican, they get put in the sequence, they get tagged. If they're voting for Trump, we then send them a special offer to get a free Trump coin. But they have to, we're going to email it to them. So basically we have a custom like user input field here. So they're inputting their email. So like if I go to edit, I can just show you. So this is a user input module. And so I've set this up that it's the reply type. When we reply, this is a email. This is then connected to Drip. So when they enter their email, and Facebook auto recognizes it, so it actually shows your Facebook email, so you can just tap it, which is really great. They then get put into Drip as an email subscriber into a campaign. They get then sent the email for the free Trump coin. And so far, let me refresh this so I can see the statistics. So far it's been a really like a massive amount of people, percentage-wise, have actually given us their email. I don't know why it keeps showing my edit. I don't want to edit anymore. Let's go back. Okay. So 237 people have responded with their emails. That means out of the 1,073 people that have opted in, subscribed to Messenger, 237 of them have become email subscribers as well, which is really great considering that the only flow that gets this is people that are Republican who are voting for Trump. So we're not even doing it yet for Democrats or undecided. So that's how we're getting emails as well. And then what we're doing is in our automation that we're going to start sending out, which we're still way early on. We're just building it out now. So here's the one for Republicans. The first thing we're doing is we're asking them basically, why are you a proud Republican? And we're doing the same thing for Democrats. We're then storing their responses. So 60 people have responded, which is great considering that, 326 have opened and 60 responded with a pretty detailed, some of them are detailed answers. And so all of these people have responded with why they're a Republican. So we're going to learn a lot about what the motivations are for these individuals. And then the second message that we just put in is it's for our lying media poll. So this is basically which media company is most biased. This takes them to a poll. And then in this poll, we're grabbing email and phone number. So anybody we didn't get their email already, we now have another chance. We're going to keep sending polls to get them opted in. So that's just a little insight into kind of what we're doing on the Messenger side. But I'm really excited about the Messenger component just because the open rate and click-through rates are so much higher, right, than email. So if we can get them to Messenger where the opens and clicks are so much higher and still get them to email and text for 24 cents, that's a win-win. That's where we're at right now, basically. We're getting the Messenger leads for about 24 cents. And that means we're also getting, if you kind of back it out number-wise, it means we're paying about $1 for email. So we're getting 24-cent Messenger leads, $1 email lead, probably $2 to $3 SMS lead, but it's all going through the, that Messenger channel. So we have a lot of exciting things, and we have some cool stuff I'm going to share with you guys next week and the week after regarding how we're using polls and bringing in branded partners to do co-regging of leads to monetize our leads in a ethical and basically the right way to do it. Instead of just like giving somebody a big email list and having them buying it from you, actually having your leads opt into somebody else's list willingly, and make money from it. So that's what we're going to talk about next week. Let's just see. Levi said, please add to your topic, execution of how to do real Facebook advertising things. So, I mean, that's the gist going forward, is that the theme of this week, this topic every week, is this live every week is going to be not just how to do Facebook advertising the right way, but how to do marketing the right way, at least according to us and what we're doing and how we're doing it. And then Paulo said, is paid traffic training your new IQ Facebook ads course? Yeah, so my first course was called Ad IQ Academy. The new course is called Paid Traffic Training. You can pick it up at paidtraffictraining.com, and you're going to start seeing a lot of ads about it pretty soon. Awesome. So on that note, I'm going to call it a night. It's about to storm here, and Larissa and I are about to do dinner. And Hoki's had a rough week. She just went to the vet, had some x-rays done. She's all good, but she's got some pain medicine, so she is out on my lap right now. So we are all going to call it a night, get some rest. But again, I will see everyone same time, same place every Tuesday for this new live. And keep an eye out for the time on our Friday show. I'm really excited about that. And hopefully you all get inside paid traffic training. I'd love to see you on the next live there. Thanks, everybody.